This is surface-dependent footstep system built in GASP. So this is grass surface type, and now we are in the run movement mode. So it has different sounds. In walk, it has different sounds. And it also has scuffs, like when you slide around or twist or pivot around a point. So if we move and then we stop, yeah, there it is. And we also have jump and land. Yeah. So this harnesses the power of how GASP has actually set up their footsteps system as well. And they have over 500 or 1000 animations, and they've added Foley events anim notifiers. So we won't be going and touching any of the animations. We'll just be modifying a bit of the anim notifiers to make this work. And of course, you can, if you have your own animations, you can add and reuse those Foley events as your own anim notifiers as well. Let's get started by looking at GASP. The folder which we need to concern ourselves with is audio Foley. So this is where like it is the audio bank. It stores all the meta sounds for different Foley events. Foley events are like Foley event walk, Foley event run. These are trigger notifiers, like anim notifiers, and they trigger this events with gameplay tags. And all of this will be creating for our own surfaces. So I've already created for grass, and I can show you what I did. So the first thing which we need to see is this is the default Foley event audio bank, and this is used by default for the GASP character. The meta sounds has all of this listed, which are meta sound for walk, meta sounds for run, everything is different for that. Now, what we need to do is also go back to GASP blueprints, anim notifies, and this is all the notifies for footsteps. So open BP anim notify Foley event. So I have actually commented the portion of the code which was added by me to make this work so that it will be clear. So first we need to go to received notify, and I can also show you like how this is even called. So go to any of the animations. Let's go to animation of UEFN, run, open any one of them. And these are all the anim notifiers. If you see, this is BP anim notify Foley event run L. This is run R and everything. So what this actually is an event with a gameplay tag for the event run. Side is can be none, left and right, and they have carefully added volume and pitch based on what they think fits well. So this is, we don't need to edit any of this because they have like 500, 1000 animations. We don't need to touch it. We'll just add our own system like on top of it. So once we receive the notify, we get the mesh component. Then I've created a function, like a generic function, get surface type. Let's open this up. I've added it in my function library. You can also do that because this will be used in a couple of places. So it's better to create it in a function library. So I've created a functional library, blueprint function library, added a new function, get surface type, takes mesh component and the enum side, which is the Foley event side enum that is provided by GASP. So get the owner of it and then check whether it implements the interface Foley audio back. So this also comes with GASP. This is the audio interface for there. So it has like I think maybe two or three. I've added some from my side. I will show that later. So make sure this will be by default implemented. This interface will be implemented by your the GASP character. Just make sure it does. That's it. So once this is done, this is the new interface, like new function in that interface which I've added, like get foot sockets by side. So this is just add a simple one, get foot sockets by side, because just to keep it clean, I have that system. So we pass the side and we get the sockets, like array of sockets. So now go to your GASP character and you have to implement that. Get foot sockets by side. Yeah. So all it does is switch on side. If it is none, then I just written foot L, foot R both in an array. If it is left, right, then it's very basic. You can see it's really basic. Then once I've done that, I got the sockets. So now we are going to do a classic line trace to detect the surface which we are hitting. And I've actually done a loop over this because there could be cases where you don't have a Foley event left or right. You have none. Then it will figure out by doing this, uh, like which is the closest foot to the ground, which is actually hitting the ground. So what we need to do is get the socket location and put it into start as the line trace. And for the end, you subtract Z by 500, or you can also 200. You can change it up, and then you ignore the actor, which is owning, and then if there is a hit condition, if it is true, then for the location, for the socket location, which is the foot, get the Z, and then get the impact from the hit result and get the Z and subtract. And if it is less than the closest distance, we basically save that. So that particular foot is hitting the ground. All right, and then we get the physical material from that and set it, and we get the surface type from the physical mat, and we now have set the surface type, and this is the surface type. And yeah, the one more reason why I'm actually looping over this, and yeah, it could be possible that your left foot is on, let's say, a water puddle physics material, and your right is on grass. So there is a difference. So we need, that is why this is done, to figure out which exact foot is actually hitting. If you have not provided that in the anim notify, if that is the case, then okay. So we have got the surface now, and we return it. So now let's go back to our anim notify for the event. So we got the surface, we set it as a local variable. I've modified this a bit. So get audio bank for the event. This is a function in the this particular notify. It takes only a mesh component. It does not take surface by default. So I've just modified it. This is one of the part which is dependent on your game. So I disconnected it because I wanted to use jump and landfall events for custom for myself in many animation montages. So I just disconnected that. I want it to be played here. But it's up to you because this is also events like Foley events jump and land are handled inside the motion matching component as well. We'll get to that later. So this is the only change which I did here. Nothing else is changed. So by default, it uses get Foley audio bank audio interface. I created a new one, get Foley audio bank by surface type. So you just need to go to your same interface, Foley audio bank interface, and add a input as physical surface, e physical surface, and return a Foley audio bank. So this is DABP audio bank type. That's it. Now make sure your character implements that, and let's go to my character. So here is the interface. Uh, get yeah, in my character, get Foley audio bank by surface type. Uh, this is for demo only. I use a different component for my effects, like managing the effects. I have created my own function for that, but for demo purposes, this is what we need to do. We get the physical surface, do a switch on that, and by default, it is going to use the GASP, which is comes by default. This is the audio bank for GASP. And then we are going to create a new one, right? So now this is the grass. So let's create a new one. But before that, we need to first finish the anim notify changes, which we need to do. So we'll come to this. So what this interface is actually doing, getting the physical interface and returning the corresponding audio bank. So right now it is default, but if you add grass, it will return the grass. So now let's go back. So now the Foley audio bank is, let's say it is grass because the surface was grass. So it will just keep on doing what it was doing before as well. Now let's go back to our receive notify. So we got the surface, we got the corresponding audio bank from the interface now. So that is done. Now everything, you can leave it at that. All of this is added by me because my game needs some to trigger footstep VFX as well. I also want to set some params related to armor jiggle sounds as well. So that's why I converted play sound to spawn sound. So I will. You don't have to do this if you have like extra sounds like armors and stuff. You can do that, but maybe we can cover that in a different video. What this actually does, if I can just quickly show you, it has a very powerful feature. Let me go to my character, and then I have a gameplay tag container. Let me put on an armor, like not like a proper equipment right now, but just to showcase something. So now imagine I have heavy armor. Now if you hear, the sound is overlapping, and it's actually quite nicely mixed if you hear that. Yeah, so is really nicely mixed with that. It's not just played, we are not playing two different sounds, it's properly mixed using meta sounds. I will show that maybe in a later video. Let me quickly show a light armor as well. Yeah. All right, so let's start from scratch and create a new surface type, mud, and we'll add fall events, not fall events, but we'll add the audio bank for that. So first of all, let's go to landscape. And this is how we need to do that. Go to paint. Let's find the mud layer. I have a mud trample layer which I created recently. Let's go to that, the layer info. And I've actually created a PMAT here. So if you open that, we need the physical material will be empty. We need to add that. So the way you can create is physical material. And that's it. Let's add PMAT underscore mud trampled. And that's it, right? And next you go to surface type and make it mud. And all of this is actually in your project settings, by the way. Go to project settings, then go to surface, and these are all the surfaces, physical surfaces you have. So we have all of this. That's it. Now, I'm just going to not use this right now. I'll use the PMAT mud. So I have the mud trample layer and I've assigned PMAT mud here. Now let's go and create a new audio bank. So I will go to my audio, Foley. Let's copy this over. I would advise you to, by the way, create something like a GASP override folder in your own game folder. Like I've created a GASP overrides folder, and I'm going to copy and manage everything here. So because Epic is going to keep on updating GASP, so it might override your changes as well. So it's better to keep it separate. Now audio grass in this, right? So now I'm going to create mud. Okay, now let's copy over this to mud. Okay, this is copied. The next thing which we need to copy is the MSS Foley sound. This is the parent for everything, so we need to copy this as well. Where did it go? Here it is. Copy. Meta sounds. Let's put it inside. Okay, let's name it as mud, and we'll open this. Let's rename this as well. This is the default one. Let's call it mud. Mud. Now, if you remember, we have an interface, right? So this is to do, which is get Foley audio bank by surface type. Just going to copy it here. I'm going to set this to mud. Let's go. That's all we need to do. Then let's go back here. Everything remains the same except all of this needs to be changed because we need to create meta sounds for mud for walk, run, jump, and everything. So let's create a meta sound source preset from it, and we will call it uh, Foley sound underscore walk. Let's create it for walk, and then let's duplicate it and call it for run. So we are just going to do it for run and walk for now. Then run, let's assign the run here and then assign the walk to its respective Foley. Where is it? Walk, 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 walk. I will also assign it to walk backwards because I don't have backward walk, uh, surface footstep sounds. So I have added armor types, chainmail, heavy mail. This I will cover it in a different video if you want, if you're interested, but we'll skip this for now. What you need to concern yourself for the footsteps is waves. This comes by default with GASP. So now it has nothing on it. We don't have anything on that. So now let's override it. Save everything first. And I will go and add some footsteps wave files here. So we are talking about mud. Which one is mud? I don't have mud. Maybe I will use blood. Yeah, sounds about right. Let's do walk. I will copy all of this walk and put it here. That's it. This is for walk. So once we have added all the footsteps, let's try it out here. So it's working. Remember, this is only going to work for walk right now. For run, it's not going to work because we don't have it yet. So let's do for run as well. Let's open it up. And same thing, go to waves, override defaults, and then we find our what? One. Let's do run all of this, add it. Nice, this is working as well. One important thing which we need to add is scuff, which is like when you twist or turn or pivot. Let's just quickly add one more as well. Just such so we are good. Let's delete everything here and we'll add the scuff. Obviously, if you don't have these sounds, you can just use the regular walker run with some modification as well. That would just do fine. This I'm going to do fast array. Okay, let's add the scuffs. There are still some sounds which are from the default GASP because we need to add every Foley, all the Foley events with our new sounds. But this works, right? One last thing which I forgot is jumps and landing is handled differently by GASP. It is handled in the motion matching component. So open your motion matching component. Motion, what? Motion, yeah, it might be called motion matching for you. So go to play audio event. So this is actually called, if I just find reference by name, this is actually called on jumped event. Basically, it's written here, event on jump plays a sound whenever the character jumps. This could also be done in audio events, which I'm doing by the way, because if you remember, I disconnected that pin, but this is the way it is by default set up. So now if you go to play audio event, you need to do the same, get the owner, get the mesh component, and from the mesh component, we call the same function which we created, like in the blueprint function library, which is the get surface type. And we pass the mesh component. The side will be none because it's a jump or a land anyway. So we set the surface. We see if the object is implements the audio bank interface, and then we get the Foley audio bank by surface type, the same way we did. And then we set the Foley audio bank, and the rest is handled by GASP code itself. So we don't need to do any changes in that. This will take care of jump as well. So now that we have this set up, let's go to grass, let's go to mud. Remember for grass, actually, I've added everything. I've added all the Foley events. For mud, we just added, I think, three. And also for anyone wondering how I did the armor thing, it was quite complicated, so I will probably cover that in a different video. It's small just about it. If I go to GASP overrides audio and then grass or maybe mud. So I've added different kind of armors like chainmail, heavy armor, this and everything. I've created new inputs for that. The armor type is an integer 32, and basically this is the armor chooser logic. So I had to create a different meta sound, basically, which is this one. Let me show you the MSS audio chooser. This is a bit of a complicated workflow, but that's why I will cover that in a different video. So basically what it does is it chooses between different assets, like which is given to him based on a condition. So in our case, the armor type, which is if it is 0, then nothing is equipped. It is 1, then heavy. So I've created that map as well. If I show you the armor type maps, this is as well present armor type map. So heavy is 1, light is 2, chain wave scene. That because we have to do this because in meta sounds, the nodes are limited. You can't just add anything like a gameplay tag. You cannot do that. If I go to gameplay tag, and again let's add heavy. So it will be additive on top of it. It will be mixed nicely with it, as you can see. One last thing which we can also cover is how to add your Foley events yourself, like for your own custom animations, like combat animation or anything, right? So I'll just quickly show you how I did that. Um, I have my own actions. If I go to combos and combo graph, let's open, let's say this one. So I right now have, if I move to left, so it has full events. If you see, when it jumps, it has sounds. Let's add it for the right as well. So if I actually did not show you the right, so I don't have it here. So I'll just quickly add it here as well. So right, open your animation montage, and then add a notify track. Let's see. So here we are doing a jump. So add fully event, fully notify, play fully, then do a jump. By the way, if you don't have, for some reason, if you don't have this tags, you can just add it. Just create from here and add a new tag, simple. And then side, I will not add anything. Volume multiply one, I will keep it as that. And then, okay, here's the land. So let's do one more fully. The land. We'll keep it at that. That's it. And it should work. Let's see. Yeah, it's working. All right, thanks for watching.